Week,
Good.
week one in the books. Michelle and that
There's
hat.
two there's two
Oh,
baby deer in my backyard and they still have their spots and they're the cutest little things.
aw. We
Oh my
like baby
gosh.
deers.
We do. Like and I grew up in a hunting fishing family, so like I'm thankful for their existence.
That's uh that's what I gotta watch out for. I don't see them often in Florida, but at 4:30 in the morning when I'm going to the gym, they're out. They're out and about. I'm always worried I grew up in Connecticut, so I'm very used to deer jumping out in the middle of the road and it not ending up well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, your
I
face
wonder
photos.
where mom is though, because they're pretty little still.
They're pretty little
So
still.
she's probably wandering. Yeah, she's probably wandering around the backyard somewhere. I don't know where she's at.
I caught a
As long as
baby
she doesn't.
sand crane running through our neighborhood the other day. It was the funniest looking thing ever. I'm an animal lover. Who else we got on here? Ryan, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm just trying to finish up a workout.
Just trying to finish up a workout? Pick up
Yeah.
something heavier, bro.
Huh?
Pick up something heavier.
Lightweight tonight.
Lightweight tonight. Oh,
Still rehabbing his shoulder. It's feeling good though.
feeling good. I grew up in West Virginia, never hit a deer, moved to DC and hit one in DC. It was fine. I cried. We were on a family bike ride yesterday, and a family of turkeys were not having it.
Forget the turkey.
I went on my run on Saturday morning and did not realize how many field mice live in the Orlando area. I saw a ton of them. Tonight's focus is strength training. Hopefully, you all had a chance to look at the calendar I sent out. If you have
Yep.
questions on any of those topics, please send them my way so I can add them to my little breakdowns. I think I figured it out. I think I got my iPad to tether tonight so that I can drive and see people and read the chats at the same time. So feel free to ask questions tonight on the strength training portion, and hopefully I can blow through it and leave plenty of room for questions and discussions. If you saw on the calendar, open forum or support call, that is questions, or you going on the hot seat. So we're gonna put Michelle on the hot seat again. She went on there like 5 times last time. She needs to get better service outside. Oh, Mama Bear, if I saw that, I
No,
would
I had it on mute. It was one time,
just once. It was
just
all
one
about
time.
peanut butter. All right.
Yes.
What? You will learn she loves peanut butter.
I'm off the peanut butter. I'm on the P2B in my yogurt.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let me do my mute thing so nobody disappear. Oh man, I forgot how to do it. So bad. I need like an admin person. Let's mute all participants. Mute all. Throw some questions
Shishi.
in the chat if you have them. There we go. Boom. And let's share. Sharing. Only I can share. Desktop too. Let's see if it worked. Did the tether work? Did it work? Can you see? I see somebody nodding. All right, strength training 101. I got my notes in another screen, so I'll be looking to the side, but hopefully you can still see me. Boom. Tonight we'll talk introduction, foundational movement patterns, getting healthier, fitter, and stronger with progressive overload, how to build a proper strength training program, common pitfalls, and then a little react or recap. It's been a day. So big concern where people, especially when I get somebody one of the comments, more so with women, sorry, is I don't want to look like a bodybuilder. So strength training definitely not just for bodybuilders. It's one of the most powerful tools you can use to sculpt your body, change your body, and overall improve your health. There's more and more science coming out about that day by day, but it boosts metabolism. So having muscle on your body, pound of muscle, it does not seem like much, burns about 9 calories at rest, 9 to 11 calories at rest. And a pound of fat burns about 4 calories. So seems very small, but when you look at somebody like me, where I have, last DEXA scan I had 111 pounds of muscle on me. Multiply that by nine. Well, I've got a substantial amount of extra calorie burn in my day because of all that muscle. So it'll help ramp up the metabolism, improves body composition, so lose fat, build lean mass, unless you're eating to get bulky and to gain muscle. You're not gonna get bulky, and that's I literally just finished that conversation in my kitchen with Miss Kim, where she's in a cut right now for vacation, but after she wants to go down to maintenance, and then she wants to actually bulk up and gain some muscle. So it's a big her maintenance calories are 1901. She's gonna have to go up to 2400, and she was freaking out about that when I shared those numbers for her. Lori can be my admin, Dale, but even then, she'd have to eat substantially more than that to gain substantial muscle mass. But also enhances bone density and joint health, crucial for long-term health and injury prevention. So runners, I've mentioned that before. I see a lot of imbalances when I first start working with runners, very quad dominant. Calves tend to get beat up a little bit, but not really bulletproofed. So try to balance that stuff out. Supports hormonal health, especially important for women in their 30s through 50s and even beyond. Improves running and athletic performance. So strengthening your posterior chain, so hamstrings, your back muscles, you get a better stride, less chance of injury. And then there's the mental and emotional benefit. So a lot of that strength will breed confidence. I was having a one-on-one conversation this morning and been working with this person for 2 weeks. I didn't see on the list if she's on the call, but she's like, my energy has already increased. I'm feeling good. I wake up, I get my workout done and I have a little pep in my step, and I'm realizing I'm stronger every day. So it's definitely been a win for her 2 weeks in. It's very awesome for me to hear. So if the goal is fat loss, muscle gain, or performance, not just feeling like garbage, strength training kind of fits in everywhere. Should be your best friend. Oh, I thought I lost my mouse on my other screen. Let's jump ahead. When I'm designing a strength training program, I always focus on the basic movement patterns that kind of make up all human physical activity. Does anybody that wasn't in the last challenge know know the seven foundational movement patterns? Chris, I'll hit that at the end. I see you there. And you could throw in the chat or even come off mute. I got you muted, but you can come off. Does anybody know the foundational movement patterns? If not, I'll dive right into them. Do, 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 do. No, we got no answers. Nobody raising hands. No, but I would like to learn. Good. That's what I'm here for, Monica. So I'll start at the beginning. The hinge. So on each of these, I gave you a little breakdown of what it is, the benefits, the muscles, and the exercises that kind of hit those. So the hinge is a leg dominant movement that involves bending forward at the hips while keeping the spine neutral. You'll see she's in the very first picture, she's in a little bit more of a squat. That could be a mobility issue, but you want to try to keep on those hinge ones. The legs a little stronger. That'll hit the posterior chain. So the back of the legs, the hamstrings more, but it is a big muscle builder in men and women, and a lot of hamstring movements have a global benefit on the entire body. So improving balance, especially again, if you're if you're a runner, you're quad dominant, balancing those hamstrings out is definitely going to help with things. It's a huge one for posture. So if you sit in a desk all day and you're like this, when you do a deadlift at the top and you squeeze back, it really just helps you stand taller if you're doing it properly. And a big misconception, a big confusion with the deadlift is causes back pain. It'll actually reduce it when trained right. So when I say training right, really on a deadlift or any hinge exercise, focus on closing the gap between your belly button and your spine. So pulling your belly button into the spine, almost like you're bracing for a punch, and you're just sucking in. That'll really help protect the protect that lower back and actually strengthen it. So you hit the glutes, so you hit the booty. That's why you tend to see, when you go in the gym, you see one of those bodybuilder looking girls. They're doing a lot of deadlifts. They're doing a lot of hip bridges and variations on the hip bridge. It's because it works the glutes and the hamstrings. Also the erector spinae, so that comes back into the posture. And if you've ever said Coach Tom doesn't give enough core work, the deadlift's a big core one, the squat's a big core one. Almost everything you should be engaging your core. So Yes, is the hinge the same as a Romanian deadlift? Anything where you are hinging at the hips is going to be in that hinge pattern. So that includes the deadlift, the Romanian deadlift, the kettlebell swing, good morning, glute bridge, hip thrust. There's other ones out there. Ryan mentioned the Romanian deadlift, which is just a variation of the deadlift. There's a stiff leg deadlift. You could do a single leg. But honestly, I only had room for five there because I wanted to get some photos in there so you could see what they look like. If you have mobility issues, if you look at the third photo, if your gym has one of those bars, really good if you struggle with getting the bar around your knees or tight hamstrings. Core is fine. Lunges are the devil. No, they're not. Lunges are not the devil, Michelle. Balancing out the hinge. So hinge is for your posterior chain, the back of the body. The squat is for the anterior chain, so the front of the body. So leg dominant movement that involves bending and straightening the legs. So a lot of good squat form out of the three photos there. I'm happy with the ones I found, but another big muscle builder, improves the balance, strengthens the joints, and another one that just improves posture. Even though it is primarily the front of the body, the anterior chain, you will hit the glutes if you go deep enough in there. So common, common, if you saw, I posted a video yesterday. Common issue for runners is underactive glutes. Squats will help with those if you're going deep enough. The quads are going to be the big ones there. The adductors and abductors, so the legs coming in and out. Core gets a little bonus there, and the calves get hit as well. Lori said, no tarantulas and burpees are the devil. Why do trainers like to make variations on burpees? You know what, Lori, if you remind me towards the end when I go Q&A, I will talk about burpees. I will talk about burpees. Exercises include the back squat, front squat, jump squat, split squat, single leg squat. You see a pattern there, but that squat pattern, you could also, because you're talking the leg extension there, you could also get a leg extension machine into the mix, would hit the same muscle group, but it would isolate it a little more. I like the squat because you're getting all five of those that I listed there, plus a few more muscle groups activated. And for Michelle, we've got the lunge. The lunge, Michelle, I'm inclined to agree with you. They suck. They suck, but they are fantastic for sniping out the weak point. So if you have a weak point in your leg, it's gonna have to activate on a lunge. It's a leg dominant movement, involves bending forward at the hips, keeping the spine neutral, but it really, if there's something weak, it's gonna fire because you hit the whole leg. You get a little quad, you get a little glute, you get a little hamstring. Lunges are the devil if your knee's bad. So if lunges, if lunges are no bueno for your knees, then avoid them. But see if you can do a body weight lunge. I'd recommend that because I used to have bad knees and I started incorporating lunges and it helped me build the strength up around them. A TRX strap is great for that. And a lot of the time, it is based on the positioning. So if you were to look at the first gentleman in the photos, his knee is tracking very forward. So you almost want that knee to sit right above your heel and let that back leg come back a little more, looking towards the middle guy or the woman in the photo. They're in good position. One thing to note about the lunge, which coaching group fitness, I saw that a lot, is your foot position. So if you see me in the picture, I know you got the screenshot up there. I'm moving my hands like my Italian people do, but your feet are going to be not in line with each other. They shouldn't be running or they shouldn't be in line with each other. They should be parallel, almost like you're stepping on a railroad track. Very, very natural gait there. So another build muscle, really great for balance, great for hip flexibility, core stability, posture. Again, we get the glutes, the hamstrings, the quad, the core, the calves. And when when Lori says exercise for the inner thighs, inner thighs, you're going to be wanting to work the abductors and adductors. So you could throw it in the comments. I know anybody that was like around in the 80s, you remember the Suzanne Summers thing, the Thigh Master? It was like a little put it between your legs and squeeze. Anything that works that range of motion is going to be really good for that inner thigh. That's something I'm actually personally focused on right now, just because the amount of running I'm doing and it helps with the knee health. So the abductor and adductor muscle groups there, bringing the legs in, bringing them out. And there's some you can do with bands. I got a few on-demand abductor and adductor ones. I might only have one, but I can add another one, making sure I got the both sides there. Walking lunge, reverse lunge, jump lunge, lateral lunge, curtsy lunge. Knee issues, avoid jump lunges at all costs. Curtsy lunge, if you're trying to work on your booty a little more, curtsy lunge is a great modification. If you're just bored of lunges, like going to a curtsy lunge, step one leg behind the other and dip down there feels real good. And I don't do them enough. And when I do them, my rear end is sore the next day. Always staying hydrated. Bad knees and lunges again. TRX is a real wonder for getting through those. I was fortunate when I was coaching group fitness to have access to TRX in the gym, and that's something we use to scale people up that couldn't do lunges, helps you with the balance. It's all about just finding the sweet spot with that TRX. And now we got the push. You got push, pull, and a few others left there. So push, exercise benefiting the upper body, generally focuses on the chest, the triceps, and the shoulders. So the back of the arm there. And triceps are in it. I'll get into that. I can go down rabbit holes. Make sure to keep me on track if I start going down the rabbit hole. But another one that's really good for improving posture, good for muscular definition, injury prevention, especially injuries of the shoulder, the rotator cuff when done right, core engagement. Again, almost all exercises. Like if you look at the guy in the first photo, his core is braced as he's trying to do that incline work. The woman in the second picture, to get a barbell overhead, you got to be bracing your core to have that stability. So core is, and again, I'll leave that to the end. Remind me about core engagement and just building muscle overall. So muscles of the put that push really works. The pecs, the triceps, not even, I shouldn't even put the anterior deltoid. I should have put the entire delt. I mean, outside of the rear delt, that the delts get pretty hammered on most push exercises, and the serratus anterior exercises, bench press, push up. Again, trying to fit, what did I got? I got 6 bullet points there, trying to fit them all in. Any variation of the bench press is going to be good for the chest. And easy way to say this, even if you're a woman, you have muscle there, so it helps to work out that muscle. That's not one I would avoid because you're like, I'm a woman and I don't have to work that area. There's still muscle under there, and it could help I don't know, shape things nicely and just up the overall metabolism. Dips are a great one if you can do them. Dips are hard. They are very challenging, and you're going to be limited, honestly, by your body weight unless you have an assist machine at your gym. So an assist machine is a great way. You put your knees on it or you put your feet on it, and whatever weight you have the pin on, it is going to it's going to reduce that weight. So if I put 50 pounds on there, I weighed 210 this morning. It would be like I was doing a dip with 160 pounds instead of my full body weight. So it subtracts the weight from me. So the lighter you go actually on that one, the stronger and harder it gets. Shoulder press, really, really good for posture and shoulder health when done right. Lateral raise, that's what gives the shoulders that kind of pop, that kind of pop look. And everybody wants that V taper, tricep push down, but really any variation of a tricep exercise. Skull crushers, extensions, there's so many good ones. And dumbbell fly, really good for getting that definition there. And push, again, anterior anterior work in the front of the body. That means we got to go to the pull, which works the posterior chain. Upper body dominant exercise, focus on the posterior chain. Ileana had lateral raises this morning, and for the first time I saw my shoulders. I told you it was coming. We're very close to like seeing rip muscle on you, Ileana. I'm excited for it. Benefits, again, building muscle. Almost all these are going to have building muscle. I should have just left that off. Upper body strength, posture, athleticism, muscles that it works, the traps. So that little spot right by your shoulders, which, you wear a low cut dress, that looks good, or guys in a tank top, that really is one you want to accentuate. Latissimus dorsi, those are those big wings down the side of your body, big old wings. Your biceps, your rhomboids, that's the upper back, and teres major. Um, Interesting. Love my traps doing all the shrugs. Chris, the traps are looking good. I'd be excited to see my toes again. We're going to get there. We'll get there. But biceps, biceps are a mirror muscle. So, you know, I'm a creature of habit and I watch people because I've been a coach for years and I watch just what people tend to do in the gym and I'll see the same guys every morning and I'll watch and they train biceps a lot and I never have see them train triceps. The bicep is actually two heads. The tricep is three, hence bi and tri. So don't let your triceps slack. Don't let them slack. They can actually really go wonders to making your giving your arm a nice shape in addition to the bicep. Exercise for that, pull up and pull down. If you can't do a pull up yet, a pull down machine, best friend, unless you use a band or one of those assist machines. Bent over or dumbbell row, another good option for building the back muscle. The bicep curl, the chin up. Chin up's a good one. While the pull up does hit your biceps, the chin up hits it a lot harder. It still gets the back muscle, but it gets those biceps pretty torched. I that's when I first started noticing my biceps grow, it was from doing substantial amounts of chin ups and putting weights on the chin ups. Shrugs. So Krista just talks about that. That's for that's for the traps. A face pull, which I don't know if I've programmed many face pulls in to the majority on the call, but if you're somebody who has shoulder health issues, and I don't know if you could see me in the slideshow right now. Hopefully you can see me in a little window, but the face pull involves the cable rope machine. You got a rope in your hands on the cable and you pull it literally towards your face, squeezing your upper back. If you are a desk person, if you find your shoulders rolling forward, that's something you can do a couple sets of before every workout and really just pin them back and squeeze them into place. That helps offset that desk jockey body that, you know, and with that, better posture. Again, I got a lot of runners on the call, so better posture, you're going to run fast. You're going to run a little taller. You're going to keep the airways open, the lungs open, and you're going to fatigue a little slower. Let's jump to my next one. Rotation. Rotation. It's another one where I see a lot of people just slack on unless it's the core junkies. So the core junkies tend to do a lot of these exercises, but the non fun core, they just no avoid it at all costs. I don't want to do it and don't do rotation. That's fine until you tie your shoe the wrong way and you throw out your back, or you go to pick up a box off the ground and you twist the wrong way, and that weak core will will rear its head very quick. So rotation, mobility is the big one here. Mobility, back health, it's going to increase your performance overall. So really makes you a little more explosive, core strength, injury prevention. That's why I slacked on this and I'm who I was talking about there. I'm that guy that was like, oh, I don't need to do all these twisty exercises. It's just fluff. Got a little older and I said I tied my shoes wrong one day, twisted my back, and it was just barely walk for a few days there. So we've got the muscle groups, the obliques. So you got the sides of the sides of the abs there, the rectus abdominis. So that's what kind of pulls it in and the back end of the abs, and then the transverse abdominis. So that's like think of it like a corset to stabilize your spine and core. It's what sucks it in, what pulls it. Those are the muscles that really pull the abs in. So think plank, think plank with those, and that's a big one. Twist and landmine twist. You got a lot of oblique work there, rotational lungs, a lot of oblique work. A Pallof press, which is very rare program because it's hard for people to get, but that involves holding a cable machine to your side, moving away from it, and then just pressing and resisting the force as you move your arms forward and back. So a lot of, even though rotation is in there, anti-rotation is a huge one. That's where it really gets that transverse abdominis. You're resisting twisting. And I'm a klutz. I'm a klutz. I've not paid attention on many races and I've gone to trip over things. And I'm just having that rotational strength to be able to bounce back and not wipe out is a lifesaver. Wood chopper, so that's pulling the cable and twisting at the core. Try not to use your arms too much there. And and the most god awful exercise, if you don't like lunges, or you don't like if you don't like core work, you will hate the Turkish sit up. So probably top three most challenging exercises I have ever done, but it is a core killer. Ileana, was it you that I told I want to give Turkish get ups to? It was. I'm gonna start giving her those. I think she's
Oh,
at
I cried this morning because I tried one of your ab things and I did four. It said to do eight. I did four and I was done.
which one was it?
Well, it was the abs at the gym
Okay.
workout set, and so it was at the end. And yeah, I started with one. Started with 10 pounds, realized that was stupid, then went down to five, and then I realized that was stupid. So I just did it without.
You're doing great. You're doing great. I told her last week, it was last week, it is Monday. I told her last week I'm going to give her the Turkish sit up. So that involves lying on your back, bringing one knee in towards your chest, your foot by your glute, and that same size you've got a dumbbell up over your chest, and then you bring your shoulder up towards your knee, and it is just a chiseler of those abs. It builds thick, strong ab muscle, and I do not give that to to just anyone because it is brutal. I think the only ab exercise more brutal is the dragon flag, which I also told her to do, but that is a high skill level exercise that is not for everybody. Outside of rotation and then locomotion. Oh man, I didn't change my pictures on this one. See, I knew I'd mess something up. Locomotion. So think your running exercises. They're for improving cardiovascular health, flexibility, and strength. They do, obviously benefit the cardiovascular system, but also flexibility, strength, sprinting. Think sprinting. You build up. Look at a NFL running back or a cornerback when they go and do the dash at the combine. These are some of the most ripped guys you've ever seen. They've got that sprinter explosive strength. You need strong hamstrings to do that. Get balance out of it, coordination. I put calves there. I put calves there. That's when I'm messing up my images. But we got calves, hamstrings, quads, glutes, core, walking, running, and sprinting. I like to break running and sprinting apart. Sprints, love to hate them, hate to love them. They are phenomenal and really good for your health. Just going as hard as you possibly can and then letting yourself recover to the max. That I've never been more chiseled than incorporating sprints and hill sprints. I've been using the same garage for hill sprints, and we went out Saturday night and I found a different garage in our neighborhood, and the incline in the garage is like it was brutal. I had to push Coda's stroller up it. Yes, my Pomeranian goes in a stroller, and I'm like, I'm gonna sprint this week. I gotta get a video of that because it's gonna be rough. Skipping, jumping. Skipping is actually a really good warm up, loosens the body up, gets you loose, and then jumping like jump rope or box jumps will also get that heart rate up. Now I'm having PTSD from high school track. I am sorry about that. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. That's the track coach's fault. So jumping along, getting healthier, fitter, and stronger. Progressive overload. Progressive overload. It's gradually increasing the difficulties of your workouts over time. So it forces your body to adapt. The ways to do that: increase the weights, increase the reps, increase the sets, or increase the frequency. So increasing weights, that's what I'll encourage most to do in each phase of the workout you're scheduled in. So I should, I'll save it for later. I actually had a really good example of this morning. I finished my workout rather quick for me, and Kim ended up being at the gym, and I'm like, I don't have to leave for another 30 minutes. I might go to the sauna, and she was like, oh, I'm gonna do some chest press. I'm like, all right, I'll hang out. And took her through her chest press, and she's like, I can do the bar. It's a 45-pound bar. I can do the bar. And I'm like, would you feel more comfortable with me here? And then I started diving through her chest press, and she's been doing the bar repetitively for a while now. So we loaded it up, put 10 on each side, and she goes, oh my God, I didn't realize I could get 10 out with the 65 pounds. So we threw another five out. She was still in her rep range. She got out eight with an additional 5 pounds on each side. We threw another on. She was still able to get out eight. So she didn't even realize she was as strong as she was. And I told her, I said, you're going to be sore tomorrow just from increasing that weight. And then we kind of walked through. If I have time at the end, I'll pull up her profile and I'll share what that workout looked like. That way, give you guys a good example in real time. And did that same thing on the shrugs where I was like, let's add a little more. But if you're hitting the top end of the rep range and you've got weights, bump it up for the next set. If you still hit it, you are stronger than you thought you were. Bump it up for the next set. Still hit, oh, I only got 8 of them out instead of the 10 coach asked for. Starting to find that sweet spot. Next time, your second set, the weight you used on your second should be your first. Start at a little higher level and do it from there. Increase repetitions. You'll see those, and I'm going to talk more about why the rep range changes on the next couple of slides. But increase reps, another good way to build up the muscle. Doing more sets, doing more frequency. Frequency is a tricky one because you're limited by your body's ability to recover. So even I will, depending on the season of life I'm in, I'll go 6 days. Sometimes I'll go 5 when I get knee deep into dopey training because of it being so taxing on the overall system of my body. I'll scale back to just lifting 3 days a week, more for a maintenance style. So building a proper strength training program. Solid strength training plan moves in phases. So everything's in phases. Think of it seasonal approach. Your strength phase, that's where the majority of you are in here. If you started with me before the challenge, you're one-on-one, you're in group, you're almost definitely in a different phase. You might be in the strength phase still. But the goal there is to maximize force production. So you just to build max force and build strength. There's my other typo. And I was checking for typos right before we got on. And get that admin one day, Lori. We'll put you on payroll. After that, we got the reps there. So that's generally a 1 to 6. And I was kind of pushing the limits there. It could be 1 to 5, but I like keeping it at the 1 to 5, 1 to 6 range. Max strength would be generally looked at that 1 rep max, 3 rep max. But you're going to build strength anywhere in that 1 to 6 range. And generally, and I know a lot of people don't want to do it, but it's a 2 to 3 minute. I kept most of you just knowing where everybody's at, but it's a 2 to 3 minute recovery on those. And I tell you, if I'm really pushing the limits there, I had, somebody asked me on my Instagram stories the other day what my bench is, and I'm like, I haven't really tracked it in a while, but I haven't like tracked a 1 rep max on the bench in a while. But if I'm pushing into that high 200s, low 300s range, it sucks the life out of you. Even 1 to 2, 3 reps will suck the life out of you where you're like, I need to breathe after that. You need to breathe after that. So it allows your body time to recoup and go again. Kept most people in that 1 minute range, but if you told me you were taking 90 seconds to 2 minutes, I wouldn't be opposed to it. So heavier loads, lower reps, that's where the majority are in now. Where you'll find yourself next, depending on, when I kicked you off, would be the hypertrophy phase. So goal here, increasing muscle size and muscular endurance. 8 to 12 reps. It's been shown the science of it time and time again that 8 to 12 is the best range for building muscle. You don't want to live there because your body adapts to it and it's hard to move into the next, to keep it going. But 30 to 90 seconds, it's great for aesthetics and overall metabolism. Really helps build that lean muscle. Pump or the anatomical, I call it pump, but also anatomical adaptation phase. So really good for building joint integrity. So strong joints, we'll see that more towards the end of the challenge and learning proper movement patterns. It's a really good time to build up the mind muscle connection. So just feeling that's where I'm personally at right now. It's a 12 to 20 range. And I kid you not, I just mentioned I've benched up to 300 and sorry, Ryan, I'm not as strong as you, but like 315, 325. I was doing 265 at the high end when I was in my last strength phase. And I rode the struggle bus. I had 135 the other day on a flat bench press, and it was like I got 20 out the first time, and then it was like I hit a brick wall. And I just really squeezing and feeling everything burned. Bethany loves pump. And then the rest is minimal. If we get to those workouts and you're crunched for time, cut your rest down to 30 seconds. Again, that's one of the big reasons I was like, oh my God, I finished my workout. I think by the time I clocked it, it was 30 minutes, not 30 seconds. But I think I'd forgotten to stop the watch. It was like 25 at the end of that. So high reps, lighter weight, really good. But then you've also got deload, which working one-on-one with people, I will usually just plan this around your vacation. If you're going away and you're like, give me workouts, and I'm like, we'll just give you something light, but kind of just go very low key for the nervous system. Um, Real purpose is recovery and reducing fatigue, especially on the central nervous system. So you just let your body kind of down regulate to lower intensity, lower volume, and I think, someone like myself who has an I guess let's call it an addiction. I love going to the gym. I love talking this stuff. It's hard for me to take those. It's hard for me to take the deload week. I guarantee every time I take a deload week, and I don't know if it's mental, I don't know but I come back feeling stronger. I'm like ready to go. I'm pumped up, and I'm like, I always hit some PRs right after a deload week. Your body just heals. You gotta recover to heal to grow. So I always feel phenomenal after I incorporate one of those. I usually build mine around vacations because why not? I'm already taking time off. But each phase builds on the last. So skipping steps is like trying to run a marathon before learning to jog. Like big mistake there. So going through each of them in a proper order. And what you'll notice as some of you start to see hypertrophy workouts, you're not going to be able to handle the same load. So scale back a little bit. It's almost like that first week when you did the strength workouts where you're kind of assessing and you're like, all right, what can I do for 8 to 12 reps? Can I get that in? And you might do the first set and be in for like a rude awakening, like, oh my God, I only got 7 out or 6 out. It's okay to scale it back. That rep range is going to challenge your body in a different way. And the same thing goes for when you go into a pump phase. So working in the rep range, heavyweight is good, but proper form will always win. I preach that. That is something, as a younger lifter who just did not put enough emphasis on it, I paid the price and had to do a lot of recovery and rehab work before I got the proper education on it. And now it's like, even though I don't be the hero, I always try to remind, don't be the hero. Like if something feels off, it's okay to dial back as long as I can maintain proper form, because form starts going out the window. When we talk about going to failure, you'll hear going to failure a lot. Think mechanical failure. So not your muscle being completely beat, not your muscle being completely beaten, you just feeling swamped. Similar, I hope I don't have too many CrossFit people on here, but that's what you see in CrossFit a lot. People going to absolute failure. So they just gas themselves out, they're beaten up, and they're just lying on the floor like passed out and just shot. I like to think of it as mechanical failure. So when does my form start breaking down? When does this not look how I should? When does does rep 10 look exactly like rep 1 did? If it doesn't, that means my body's starting to fail in some way, and I don't want injuries. Recovery between sets is good. I kind of just talked about that. If you're lifting properly, you're going to need that. Like in quality over quantity, that comes in right there with the good form. And then listen to your body. I had a I took a weight off the rack odd the other day. It just came off. It kind of stuck and then pulled. I didn't know what really happened, but that led to a little pull in my chest and just didn't feel right. So I just scaled back the chest where I was like, you know what? I'll be fine dialing this back. There's other exercises I can do. I'll work around it. If you have questions about working around stuff like that, shoot them my way. I'll navigate you through it. Common pitfalls. So save yourself months of frustration. Lifting too light for too long. Again, a lot of I base everything on on real world experience and things I've seen. I coached group fitness for many years, and I saw people lifting the exact same weights for many years, and then they come like, I've been here for 2 years, I haven't had any progress. I haven't lost weight, I haven't built muscle. What's going on? I'm like, well, you've been lifting those tens. Every time I tell you to lift the 15s, you don't want to lift the 15s, and you don't want to listen. So it's then they get all upset. And I said, let's try the 15s. And then, all right, you got the 15s down. Let's try to go up to the 20s. So lifting too light, you kind of get stuck in that thing. Realize you are stronger. All of you, actually, you're stronger than you realize. I love seeing somebody come in with a giant heavy gym bag and like a kid on one arm, and then they pick up like a 5 pound dumbbell. I'm like, just lifted like 50 pounds of groceries to get through the doors and a child. Like, you got this. You're stronger than you realize. Neglecting that progressive overload. So again, that falls right in there where you just keep doing the same things. You end up spinning your wheels. Your body has to adapt. Think of it like, eventually, if you're a runner, you started with the 5K, you got that down. You got that down. Let's go to the 10K, or you picked up your speed. It's the same pattern. You're trying to progress there, and that overloads the body, forces you to become a faster runner, forces your endurance to build. So that's a big win. Skipping compound lifts. Those are the majority of what I talked about there. So the compound lifts, think the deadlift, the squat, the lunge, deadlift, squat, lunge, chest press, shoulder press, pull-ups, and rows. So when I say compound lift, that's a lift that hits multiple muscle groups at once. So I call them the bang for the buck exercises. They will always be at the front end of the workouts that I build, no matter what. That is one thing. Oh, I want to work on my biceps. Can we do biceps first? Smoke out your biceps, your pull-ups are gonna your chin-ups aren't gonna be good. Chin-ups aren't gonna be good, and then you're gonna struggle there and you won't get the max benefit there. The pull-up will hit your biceps, your back, and then you get you just engage the biceps towards the end. So isolated movements versus the compound isolated bicep curl, the chest fly. Do those when the muscle's already broken down a little bit to really help milk a little extra out of them. Too much variety and or not tracking workouts. So you can't improve what you don't measure. So this fun app, I have been using this app, that my app, since COVID on other people. I didn't start using it this weekend. I completed my 360th workout, and I work out like 5 to 6 days a week. I got like you finished, I think it was 350 or 360. I didn't get a PR, so they gave me that little thumbs up that day. And I was like, man, I've only used this for probably a year and a half, 2 years on myself. And I feel like I left a lot on the table because now I have really good metrics to track on. I can see when I do a repeat workout, all right, I lifted this today. When I do this same workout, today's Monday, I'll do the same workout I did on Thursday this week. On Thursday, okay, I'm going to add 5 to 10 pounds to that. Really helps to track and know where you're at. That way you can try to beat it. And doesn't have to be much to get that progressive overload. It could literally be 2.5 pounds. I mean, once that chest press starts getting up there, 2.5 pounds can really be a challenge. 5 pounds is going to be a challenge. 10 pounds, definitely a challenge. Like, every little bit counts, or one extra rep. One extra rep. I have to hop off to have dinner with the out of town family, but I'll listen to the rest later. You better definitely learn something. I'm glad. Bye, Monica. Have fun. Enjoy dinner. It better be healthy. Too much variety and not enough consistency. So another thing in group fitness, I mean, got a team that designs the workouts for you. You might come in Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You're just throwing stuff at the wall. You never know what you're gonna get. And a lot of people do that. They just come to the gym. I say, "What are you working today?" Talk to random people in the gym all the time. "What are you working today?" I'm not sure. I might do like shoulders. And then I used to do that, and I didn't see a lot of progress. Initially you'll get some progress, but following along and having a game plan really set yourself up for success. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And I'm like, because the basics work. They've worked for hundreds of years. People been doing push-ups since, ooh, Stephanie just messaged me. She's increasing the weights very soon. I like it. Thank you, Stephanie. I don't know if you're still on here, but I appreciate the DM. But yeah, people, I try not to curse too much on these calls. I'll save that for the group call and the one-on-one. But throw a lot of shit at the wall and hope it sticks. Hopefully your kids weren't listening. And a lot of these, there's one workout out there. If you do it, I'm not opposed to it. If it gets you moving, I'm not opposed to it. But F45, it's a lot of just throwing stuff at it. All right, today we're going to crawl around on the floor, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. And it's designed to make you sweat. So you might sweat a little bit, you might burn some calories, but without that progressive overload and improvement, you're really just going to work up that sweat. And I see people that go there that I know, and I'm like, the goal is to make you feel beat up, because if you feel beat up, then a lot of people equate that to a good workout. You don't need, with that variety, you don't need to shock your muscles. Your muscles, they're very smart. They don't get shocked. They grow off the same thing. Smart progressive work. Nice jump. Oh man, my mouse won't move. My last slide. Good. I made it with 15 minutes to spare to answer questions. So the recap for tonight, strength training builds a leaner, more resilient body, different types to match your fitness level and goals. Structured phases equal better results for fewer plateaus. Protocol should match your goal, endurance, hypertrophy, strength, or power. Again, taking everybody through the gamut on here. Didn't really talk about power. That's more explosive force. If you were an athlete that says, I'm trying to sprint, I want to work on my sprint, then we're going to do explosive stuff. If, I'm working with a kid that plays football or boxing, we're going to work explosive stuff. Track progress, stay consistent, and lift with a purpose. Lift with a purpose. Let's stop sharing my screen. Come back in here so I can see. Oh, good. You had that. The first thing I see when I turn the share screen off, Ileana, was your child sitting right there, and I'm like, thank God you have the headphones on because I did curse.
Yeah, he didn't hear. It's okay.
We'll tell him we said hello. Who's got questions tonight? Well, I missed one from before. You kept things quiet there. What was my question before? I said I wanted to come back to
I was talking in the easy equipment that you can buy if you don't have anything.
easy equipment you can buy. Adjustable dumbbells would probably be the most bang for your buck. Look for them used on Facebook Marketplace though, or like one of our neighbors just had a garage sale and they were selling them for a ridiculous price. I almost just bought them to why not? It's like why not? But adjustable, it'll kill you to wear you down. Like trying to buy singles,
Yeah.
and it adds up over time. Prime Day would have been a good day for that. Adjustable, or I mean, you could end up spending a lot on a bench or a barbell or a rack, but that's kind of it'll last forever. It'll last your entire lifetime, and you'll be golden there. Or yeah, I think those are the big ones. I mean, unless you're somebody that travels a lot, Jen's got an adjustable kettlebell. Somebody that travels a lot, I'd say bands would be a really good investment. Bethany just got bands, and I was like, don't just buy one. You're gonna outgrow that in like a week. Buy the whole pack. Did you buy the whole pack, Bethany?
No, but I realized that I am going to buy the other ones pretty soon.
I told you. I
I
told
know. I was also going to say that I was just typing while you're writing that. That's why it took me a second. But I've also like if I don't make it to the gym, I've been using the Basu ball a lot. Like I've been subbing some of them with the Basu ball, and that's a pretty it's expensive. It's like $100, but it's a really good investment. I mean, I've had mine for 7 years.
those last a while.
Hmm.
Those last a while. What other ones? Yeah, TRX. Somebody just saw that in the chat. That's a really good one, and it's low barrier of entry. I have some TRX workouts built in there, and I'm actually working on a whole like 12-week TRX program for somebody that just has access to that. But that's a great one to travel with. I tend to bring those like whenever we travel, not knowing what I'm gonna get unless I know there's like a gym there. It's just super versatile piece of equipment. Super versatile. I have to hop off. Boom, boom, boom. What on-demand workouts do you recommend to supplement our lifts to help increase our running speeds? And I would say the glute hamstring one. The glute hamstring one, that'd probably be the big one to go with on there, just because it tends to be underdeveloped and going back to like that sprinter, there's photos, the marathon versus the sprinter body, and that sprinter guy looks right. You just like can see this beautiful hamstring on this man, and if you Google that photo, and yeah, that's hamstring glutes. Go with that. We love our adjustable dumbbells. I love my adjustable kettlebell. Facebook Marketplace, you find a lot of stuff there. Dumbbells versus barbell workouts. What's better? I I wouldn't say either is better. I think they both have their place. A barbell, you'd be able to challenge the weight a little more. A dumbbell has the added benefit of stability. So you have to work more on that balance. I mean, you still have to stabilize the bar, but when you're working two dumbbells independently, there's a little extra stability there. One of the other benefits of going the dumbbell route is if you're somebody who's imbalanced. So I know Jenny, I don't know if she's on the call tonight. I don't know if Jenny's here, but Jenny went through an injury post dopey where she fractured, she damaged her wrist. I don't remember if it was a fracture, Jenny, but she had to get surgery on her wrist and was not able to do things on that arm for quite some time. Quite some time. So dumbbells, she could do single side of the body, try to keep that going. I tore my bicep 12 years ago now. God, I wish I would remember when I did that. And I also wish I got more photos. Tore my bicep and really just more for my mental health than anything else. I said I have to keep working out. I was on a leg press machine the next day. And first week or two, I only did legs. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't want I don't want the right side of my body or the right side of my body to get weak or smaller. I'm just going to keep working on it, keep working the right. So I went single dumbbell. There was a hidden effect there where you work one side of your body, your core has to just brace. Your core has to brace. It's got to work twice as hard on stability. So that's super fantastic for getting the core work out of it. And and I found my left side because I kept the right side strong. The left side I was able to it was a little awkward, grab a 50 pound in one hand and a 25 in the other and do a bench press or something like that. But I was able to work my way back up and they said my recovery was just beyond fast. So I was ecstatic about that and really just that the stabilizers. So if somebody comes to me really imbalanced, they're getting over an injury or something like that, I'm working on a current program where it is only single side of the body and you do both sides, but you do your left side first if the left's your weak. You do your right side second. Moms, 100%. If you're a mom of a tiny human, you carry your kid on one side, you're definitely imbalanced. So I always find that when somebody does measurements for me, Lori, they're always like, "This is so weird. My right arm is 2 inches bigger," and I'm like, "Do you have children?" Yeah, I've got 3 kids that are, 1, 3, and 5. Well, for the past 5 years, you've been getting a little extra out of that right side of the body. So for that person, I would say with this new program building, let's focus on the left side first, then go into your right side reps. So it really helps with the balance and working through those things. Well, back to
Uh,
I don't think either is better, dumbbell or barbell.
my question, because I'm going to Disney tomorrow, flying out, and a lot of these places don't have the barbells. So
You didn't mention that part. Dumbbell.
sorry.
Dumbbell.
Yeah.
Dumbbell. So if you're at Disney, you're gonna be you're gonna be locked in. If they have anything, it's gonna be a Smith machine. A lot of those places won't have barbells. It's gonna be a Smith machine, which, if your gym, that's all they got for a barbell, it's fine. But I try to avoid those just because they do lock you into a fixed range of motion, and your body is not in a fixed range of motion. When you come out there, you'll have a little bit of imbalances, and it'll be trickier getting a barbell off if you're only used to a Smith machine. It's just that fixed. The body's not designed to move in a fixed plane. So it's, and it's going to go for the path of least resistance. You can't actually do that when you're on a Smith machine. Go with the dumbbells that week.
Okay. I just have to manually change and then try to find them
No.
in my.
Just message me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
When's your trip? Just message me the dates.
Tomorrow night.
Oh, thanks for giving me enough time to get this done. You leave tomorrow night?
Yeah.
All right.
3:30.
All right. Till when?
Sunday.
Message me so I don't forget, and I'll toy with some things.
Okay. Thanks.
I got you. Amanda, Ryan took you to the on-demand workouts. Ryan, you should make a video, man, for me. That's fantastic. Hit the plus sign, hit the workout, click on demand. There's 2 libraries there. If you don't see them, go in there and just shoot me a message and I'll get them up there. Michelle, no bench all the time. The floor. Outside of an incline, you can change anything incline to flat. So if it's a bench press exercise, you can do it right on the floor.
Okay. My only question was because sometimes you have us where we're actually coming like when it's on the incline, like we're coming back farther than the body. So, you know what I mean? Like when your arm comes back below your body. So if you're on the floor, you have to stop at the floor. But that's an okay alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a good alternative. And
The hammock doesn't work as well.
But-
So
doing a chest press on the floor has a whole different level of challenge to it because you can't bounce. So a lot of people, when they come down, they bounce out of the hole. They pop up out and bounce it off their chest. You can't do that on the floor. Gravity stops you, and it's a lot harder to push from that position. A lot harder. So Godspeed. Good luck with your floor.
well, that's what I've been doing for years because during when like basically fall, winter, and spring, I do a group fitness class, and we're in a dance studio, so we're right in the floor. So our chest presses are on the floor anyway. So that's what I'm used to.
I like it. Oh, and she just casually shows us her gooders. Those are nice. What
Unhealthy addiction. Unhealthy addiction.
I don't actually own any. I get those AirFit ones.
I like the AirFit has a better, sidetrack. AirFit has a better UV protection. Like they're way better for your sun that you have in Florida. But up here, the Gooders work pretty darn well.
All right. All right. I'll take it. Bethany said, what would explosive workouts replace? A strength or a cardio? So, Bethany, that depends because I can build out an explosive workout that is more cardio based. I can build up an explosive workout that is more strength based. So, sprints, hill sprints, sled pushes, sled pulls would be considered a little more explosive based and more leaning on the cardio side, while the sled would build strength versus, you know, clean and press, Olympic lifts. So taking the bar, flipping it, catching it, tossing it in the air, all that fun stuff. That's going to be more of a strength based one. So that's, if that's something you're looking to incorporate, we can go down that rabbit hole. We can go down that rabbit hole whenever I see you next, one on one. Clean and press is so fun. Once you get them down, we'll go down that rabbit hole in our one on one call a little deeper, Beth. Um, Boom, boom, boom. If we only have two fives, can we do 10 pounds on one side, 10 pounds on the other instead of just 5 and 5? We only have two fives. Yeah, yeah. You can definitely do that as long as it's not weird holding it like that. My son was over 20 pounds at 4 months. Dale's genetics. Dale's genetics. At Disney, I live to curl Mickey bars. I like to live Mickey bars over and over, bicep curl. Oh my God. Epcot does have great 8 ounce curls. They really do. Floor press for the win. Ryan knows about that. Can't count how many gooders I have. Too many gooders. Clean and press is fun. Alter ego hats. My buddy's been trying to get me on the alter ego hats. I gotta do it. My wife bought me this one for my birthday, just in case. I think she wanted to tell me I'm getting old. Michelle, I'm gonna get you a hat for wine and dine weekend. I got my own hats coming out.
I got my bracelets and keychains. So I'm working on things.
You've done this challenge multiple times now, so I figure I'll give you a hat when I see a wine and dine.
I have bracelets coming. I said I have keychains too. So that's my new thing.
Keychains. Okay. What other questions we got tonight? I know I've been spouting off. I gotta leave you all time to chat on one of these calls. I think once we're through supplements, let me open up my scheduler, make sure I got it down. Once we're through that supplement one, my slides will probably get a little bit shorter. That way I can leave a lot of room for questions. Where is my calendar I made the other day? I got one typo on there. Saturday 8:24 should be 8:23 at the end. I'm throwing one Saturday one in there. So yeah, Thursday or this Wednesday will be supplements 30 minutes earlier, and then recovery that I should have time for open forum. Sleep will be open forum. If you're somebody that wants to go on the hot seat, let me know. If you have any supplements you want covered, please let me know. I sent out a pretty extensive list, but let me know the supplements you want to chat about or you have questions about or anything like that, and I'll do my best to cover those out there. If nobody's got any more questions,
I got one.
Go, Dale.
I saw your post yesterday on Instagram. What is an ultimate stretch?
The world's greatest stretch. Not
Yeah, that's the one.
I'll do a video of that.
Okay.
I'm going to do those tomorrow.
That's the only one I hadn't seen before.
It's really like a combination stretch, takes you through the motions, takes you through all the motions. Think of it as that, stepping into a long lunge. So you step forward into a deep lunge, foot's flat, front knees bent 90 degrees. You straighten the back knee, squeezing your glute, and then you take your inside hand and rotate it towards the roof, and then you rotate it back down through.
So I'm going to be picking them up off the floor.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's not nice.
It really is a good stretch because they call it the world's greatest stretch because it literally hits almost every muscle group.
Okay.
Stretch.
Thank you.
I got to try to get more videos like that. My gym doesn't allow you to take videos, so I'm always like covert ops. I told Kim we're taking a field trip to a different gym this Saturday so that she can video me doing some of this stuff so that I can get more stuff to send your way. But I'll get it. I'll get the video. All right, no other Oh, Ileana's got a question. Yoga, it's like a low lunge with a twist. Yes, it is. All right. If that's all you got tonight, supplements, send them my way for Wednesday's call. Remember, 6 o'clock on Wednesday. And yeah, shoot them my way. Thank you all for coming tonight, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
Bye.
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 Night.
Night, Larry.